Hey guys, so if you don't know already, my name is Lucas, and my topic that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is distracted driving and what it's going to look like going further in our future. So to begin, distracted driving happens to all of us, whether we like it or not. It comes in many different forms, whether we take our eyes off the road, if we're fiddling around with our hands, like looking at, like having our phone, or trying to change the music. Um, it diverts our attention, obviously, to the road. Um, so, like I said, it includes texting and driving, um, eating and drinking, talking to people in your vehicle, because your mind wanders off in a different place. Um, and then filling with the stereo, like I said before. So, it's anything that takes away your attention. We see that not only does distracted driving cost an individual their own life, but also cost the family of the victim themselves. So distracted driving is a dangerous claim, and it's claimed 2,841 lives in 2018 alone. Among those killed, 1,730 drivers, 605 passengers, 400 pedestrians, and 77 bicyclists. So according to the National Highway Safety Transportation Administration, or NHSTA, 400,000 is the estimated number of people who were injured in the crashes involved distracted driving in 2018. And according to a website called Zebra, they conducted a study. And in their study, they found that 37.1% of respondents completely agree that distractions on your mobile device impair your ability to drive safely. Yet 28.6% of all respondents admitted to texting and driving as their number one distracted driving behavior. Over video chatting, engaging with work emails, taking photos or videos, and the people in the study were 2,000 Americans. Some more statistics that we can talk about. 56.7% of all respondents reported that they eat or drink while driving. 8.9% of respondents aged 25 to 34 say that they felt a high degree of pressure to respond to a text message as soon as it came in, and 7.3% of the same age group also felt a high degree of pressure to respond to work-related messages, emails, while driving. So there is three types of distracted driving. I kind of went over them before, but I'll go over it more in depth. So the first, there's manual, cognitive, and visual. So manual distractions cause you to take your hands off the wheel. So like I said, drinking and driving, texting and driving, it's for any reason or amount of time. So it's your reaction time and ability to steer and avoid obstacles suffers when you don't have both hands on the wheel. And like I said, eating, drinking, taking off a jacket, applying makeup, or playing with the radio are all examples. So next is visual. Visual distractions are anything that cause you to take your eyes off the road. So it's like you see a deer on the side of the road. You gotta fix your makeup. Texting is one of them. So a few examples are reading a GPS device or a text message and look at the scenery as are examples. Next is cognitive, and which is basically that takes anything off your, like, it's anything that your mind is involved in. So you may have your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road, but your mind's in a different place. You're daydreaming. So that's what the three types of distracted driving are. So going towards victim blaming, Levon Reese is a 24-year-old Florida State University student who was killed in a 2015 crash. The family of Reese said there's something that they can do. And like many videos that we've seen or presentations that we've seen in school about don't text and drive, that's the main message. The family says I could work for however long it takes with whatever energy I have to change laws here in Florida. Reese's aunt goes further and says that I can't see how people can be allowed to drive and be so very distracted while behind the wheel of a vehicle that is also an instrument of death. So, and according to Robertson and Wallace, the process of victim blaming has severe consequences for both the victim and society. So, for example, if the victim feels, or perceives that he or she will be blamed or condemned by other members of society, the victim may not file a report for the crime. He or she may believe that the social cost of reporting the crime is too high of a price to pay. To go further with victim rights, according to the Department of Justice, the Crime Victims Act of 2004, 18 U.S.C. 3771 provides that officers and employees of the Department of Justice shall make their best efforts to see that crime victims are notified of and accorded to the following rights. And there is 3 different rights that go into death, but it says the right to be reasonably protected from the accused, the right to be reasonably accurate and timely notice of any public court proceedings or parole hearings involving the crime or any release of an escaped or of the accused or released, the right not to be excluded from any such public court proceeding unless the court, after receiving clear and convincing evidence, determines that the testimony by the victim would be materially altered if the victim heard the other testimony. So some victim services that one can go to for distracted driving, right off the top of your head, you can think of counseling, support services, anyone that you can talk to. Those can help. Some of the things that I found is the National Safety Council, and END with 2 capital D's. I did talk with the founder of END. He does help a lot. He is also an attorney. But according to the National Safety Council, their website listed a number of names, and those names are the survivors and family members of those killed by a distracted driver. So that is that. So a case example that we can look at is a man that was carrying a box truck full of windows from Boston Spa to Buffalo, who crashed and killed a University of Buffalo professor. Christopher Gregorick was shopping for video games and completing a survey on his phone back in 2017 when behind the wheel of the truck, and he killed 45-year-old professor Ellen Volk, who was in Buffalo behind the wheel. The district attorney, John Flynn, said we charged him with manslaughter and a very aggressive charge. He says, I want to be aggressive on these cases because I believe that the criminally negligent homicide was not the appropriate charge. As a result, Gregory was sentenced to 1.5 to 4.5 years in prison. So prevention and awareness and media. So there's different ways that one can raise awareness. So it's either through speakers, organizations, stuff like that. There's also mock crashes where fire departments and police stations set up actual sites with damaged cars, kids hanging out the window to show what it looks like. So there's media. With media, there comes a website called Truce, and there's 10 different organizations whose goal is to stop distracted driving. So a few examples is NHSTA, OSHA, the National Safety Council, and the list keeps going further. And we all know the advantages of social media. The word can get around. So that's also a big help as well. So what does the future of distracted driving look like? So in an article by Fletcher CSI, talks about the emergence of autonomous vehicles, and they have the potential to reduce distracted driving. So what I mean by that is Tesla has their automatic driving, but the problem with that, and they talk about it, is that it removes the human error component. But with that, the computer system can also fail. So there's like a 50% chance that it will work. But other than that, it also might help lessen distracted driving as a result. So that is my presentation. I hope you guys liked it. And here's the PowerPoint for example as well.